Ira, how are you? You can hear me, Ira? Ira, can you hear me? Okay, now I can hear you. For some reason, it took a little while. I don't know, there was like a lag on my end or something. But Ira, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me. How
Oh,
are you?
I'm doing pretty well. And, it's alarming news today what we heard from Coach Robert Saleh with the Jets because now we can't expect Wilson to be ready until week 4.
I'm not. I'm not overly shocked with this. I kind of, when the initial injury happened, just I'm no doctor, but just I've had my knee problems playing sports, and I thought for sure this guy's going to miss at least 2 to 4 weeks minimum. And listen, I think they're playing it smart. There's no reason to rush this kid back, and you like Salah said today. You don't want this kid on the field until he's physically and mentally ready to go.
You're right about that because remember last year when he got injured, he came back a better player.
That's exactly right. The one thing that concerns me, and I think I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this. I think this is kind of stunt Zach's growth this year because he missed some very very critical weeks of training camp, probably the most important part of camp, especially with the joint practices, and they got a lot of work done. And he didn't get those reps in, and
No.
he didn't play in the preseason. And when he is healthy, to get back, he's going to be playing catch up most of the year.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing catch up with himself physically, and he's going to be playing catch up with getting back in rhythm with his skill position players. So unfortunately, things happen. You're gonna have to deal with it. But I don't know if you heard me, but I don't have a problem with Flacco early on. I don't. I watched them both in camp, and I think early on, Flacco just gives them. I know it's not the answer. I understand it,
Mhm.
but I just think Flacco gives them a better chance to win early on.
I think you're right about that, especially as that veteran presence, and everyone's calling it the revenge game now that he's playing the Ravens week 1. But I'm looking forward to it just to see what happens here. I'm hoping that it's not a Fitzpatrick year and we all get our hopes up and we don't end up making the playoffs. But I really do hope that Zach Wilson is the answer here. But there are some concerns there because when you hear the players and the coaches, they say this guy is amazing when he plays in camp, but then you watch him play against the Eagles and he throws that ugly interception, and you just think to yourself, like, is this guy really the answer at your quarterback?
Well, I don't, I can't answer that, and
Yeah.
it's just from watching him this summer, I thought he had a really kind of shaky start, and then he was a little better, but he was still inconsistent. And then things started to click a little, but there were just too many times where, he'd make these wild throws. And then all of a sudden, he throws the ball high, throws the ball behind the receiver. And the one thing that I found very alarming, I believe I'm not jumping off the Zach Wilson
No.
bandwagon. It's going to appear that way. But, for guys like Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson to come out and says that Flacco hit them in the numbers more or less, that's not what you want to hear.
No. No. I know Garrett Wilson gave the breakdown of what it's like catching passes from Flacco compared to Wilson. I did hear that, and I really do hope that Zach Wilson is the answer because I really don't feel like going in here and start looking at the mock draft for quarterbacks again next year. I don't want to do that. And you spoke about it last time that if Wilson doesn't pan out this year, Woody Johnson's going to go after a veteran in the league right now, probably on the younger side, if Wilson really isn't the answer here.
I'm going to stick with it. I think, if God forbid Wilson doesn't work out this year, I think Woody's going to be up to his, he's had it with drafting quarterbacks, and he will go out and spend big money for a quarterback. I think that's the rubber. Let's hope we're not having this conversation
No,
at the
I
end of the
can't.
year.
I can't deal with it anymore.
I can't deal with it either. I'm hoping Zach gets back as soon as he's ready. Hopefully we win some games early. And you know what? I have no problem. If the Jets are 2-1 and Flacco's look really good and the team is moving the ball well, I hope Saleh has to scratch his head. What am I going to do here? Do I let Flacco ride it out, or do I go to Wilson? I'm good with that problem.
Yeah, I'm good with that problem as well. Now, if you were making the decision, if you were Saleh, would you just keep Flacco in there? Because I think Jet fans, we just want to see a winning season here at this point. But at the same time, we need an answer at quarterback. So what do you think you would do if it came down to that decision?
If I were the head coach, I'd play to win the game. I'd
Yeah,
let Flacco ride it out till he starts losing.
I
You know,
agree. Yeah.
that's how. And like I said, I know that's not the long term answer. I know. Listen, Zach Wilson's going to be playing football at some point this year.
Yeah.
Okay, whether it's 10 games, whether it's 12 games, whether it's 8 games, whatever it might be. Okay, he's going to be playing football. So I'm not concerned about that. But if how do you if you have to face your 53 man roster and you add the practice, you're looking at 69 players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a meeting on a Monday morning, and let's say by some chance, you're 2-2 or 3-1, whatever the case might be, and they're playing good football and they're winning, right? And then you come in Wednesday morning, and then you're facing these 69 men, and say, boys, okay, we had a good run here, but Zach Wilson's our quarterback, and he's starting the following week. You don't
Exactly.
think?
Yeah.
What, you don't think there's some credibility that the players are going to lose in the head coach?
Yeah. No, there's going to be. And I'm shaky about Saleh already because I know he snapped at the media today when they asked him about the Zach Wilson thing, and fans are really starting to lose trust in him. And it started last year when he was losing games because you got the comparisons to him and Gaze that he could be worse than Gaze. And I saw it all over social media today as soon as he had that announcement.
Really? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that at all. On social media, but I didn't know that the fans are turning on him so quickly.
Yeah, I saw it all in the comments on Twitter today, just saying how he's losing their trust, and they didn't like how he snapped at the media when they asked him about Wilson's availability. Because a couple days ago, he thought he was making it sound like he was going to be available for week 1. Then all of a sudden today, he drops the news that he's not going to be ready for week 4 at the earliest, which it came as a surprise to me.
Well, I wasn't completely stunned, but if I had, once again, I'm speculating. I don't have anything to back this up.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a guess here. Wilson tested in the early in the week. It either wasn't right, doctor didn't like the way it looked, or maybe he aggravated it, or maybe he had some swelling. And then they said, you know what, we're shutting him down. I think that's probably what happened.
It probably is what happened. I want your thoughts on the Jets cutting Pinnock. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I was a little. I'll tell you the truth. And I've been praising Douglas the draft and free agency, but I'm certainly not on board with keeping Ashton Davis over Pinnock and what's his name and Will Parks.
No.
I mean, I think Ashton Davis was a type of non-cut.
Oh, I agree.
Why else would you keep this guy?
I don't know why they kept him. He hasn't panned out since. I think he had a fumble, I think, on one of the returns on special teams. I do remember that. I remember something went wrong on one of his special teams a few seasons ago, and I knew from that moment, I said, this guy isn't it.
No. Well, you know what? What gets me about him, he always seems to be out of position.
Mm.
In coverage, I think he's a liability. And I don't think he's the greatest tackler. So I just, they moved on from. I mean, basically they, except for Mims, and they kept him around for now. But that whole draft class has been a bust.
It has been.
That's okay. If you get 2 out of 3 right, you're doing good. But I just don't understand why you would keep Davis. I would love to hear the explanation. We never get it, but I would love to hear the explanation.
It's similar to what the Giants happened a few days ago with Blake Martinez. They just cut him out of nowhere, and he was their top linebacker.
I know, it's crazy. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It's a crazy sport. It really is. But I'm looking forward to the game Sunday. Once again, it's. I have concerns about Saleh and his coaching staff. I hope they grow in year 2. I find it hard to believe that he's going to out coach Harbaugh on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't see
but
that.
I just think we're due. And I've been picking the Jets I've been saying it all along. Since if Wilson was starting Sunday, I'd give us some shot.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw Flacco perform in camp, and once it became clear that he's starting week 1, and I think we're due. We haven't won a September game since Donald's first game in 2018
against the Lions.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, it's home. From what I hear, it's going to be close to a sellout. I think the place is going to be rocking. Um, you know, really week one, all bets are off on week one because you never know what's going to happen. These guys
No.
haven't played football all summer. So you don't know really what to expect. But I'm just going with a gut feeling, and I think we're going to win like a 27-23 type of ball game.
Oh, no, it could happen. I'm really not sure on predictions of the game now because just with Flacco starting and the quarterback position is such a question. But I'm expecting the defense to really step up this year, especially with Carl Lawson coming back and then the players that they drafted in the offseason, especially with Gardner. But did you hear that DJ Reed is maybe questionable for Sunday?
Yeah, I'm not surprised because there's something, and you know what, the Jets have been, and I'm glad that they're keeping things close to the vest. But when it comes to injuries, they're really tight-lipped. I
Mm,
mean, it's just they just don't let anything out.
no.
And DJ Reed has been up and down for a couple of weeks now. He's back, he's off, he's back, he's nursing something. So I don't even know what's wrong with him. But I tell you the truth, I'm starting to have concerns because I'm hoping it's not anything serious.
No, I'm hoping as well because we need that corner position locked down. And I know Gardner, and he's just a rookie, and I'm sure he's going to do fine. I don't know if he's going to be the Revis type of player, Deion Sanders, that everyone's comparing to him right away. But we need a veteran corner in the other side of the backfield.
Well, I think that's, that would be a big blow. I
Yeah.
really do because, pretty much if DJ Reed was taking care of his side, now all of a sudden, you really don't want to grow to Gardner's side. Seems a little bit of a testing as a rookie. But I think that's what they were counting on. And, in this game, there's always next man up. But, there's a big difference between Echols and Hall compared to DJ Reed.
I agree. Do you think that because I heard with the restructuring of C.J. Mosley's contract that they freed up, I think 12 million or 17 million in cap space? Do you think the Jets are going to sign someone, before things really close up here to add another position? Because they did add Dwayne Brown. We do know that on the offensive line, but do you
Yeah.
see them filling in another position of need here?
I wouldn't. I would not be shocked if they look to. If there's anything wrong with, I mean, I don't know what's on the market right now,
Mhm.
but I would not be shocked if they bring in or trade for a safety, or God forbid, DJ Reed is really in trouble with an injury. If they go selling a corner, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, yeah, I think they're going to need to fill those holes right there, especially if Reed is going down, and safety's been a glaring issue anyway. But yeah,
Well, Jordan is never going to give us 17 games. That's
no,
not going to happen.
no. He was injured all last year as well, and I hope he bounces back, but I just don't see it. And I think we were right timing here with getting rid of Marcus May. I don't know if you saw the articles going on here that apparently he's gotten arrested, or there was some kind of DUI or some kind of something out there where he could get arrested for pointing a gun at a car full of teenage girls or something. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did, and I tell you the truth. When I'm wrong, I'm the first to admit it. And I really went to bat, on the radio for him, for the Jets to keep him. They were making a mistake. And besides his on the field performance, which maybe I overrated him a little, but I got to know him a little casually, personally,
Mhm.
just from going to the road games and being around before COVID. And I always thought he was a class act.
Yeah.
In Florida, he spent some time, before dinner with my wife and I. He was couldn't have been a nicer gentleman and polite and looked well spoken. And when the first thing happened and now the second thing, I said, man, oh man, I don't know what this kid's problem is, but I definitely misread this one.
Yeah, there must have been some issues there that Douglas sniffed out and was able to just not bring him back, and he's on the Saints now, and hopefully they get some things turned around there, and he gets back on the right path because he was a great player for us, and we have a hole in that safety position because of him and Jamal Adams now. Mike McCagnon really set us up there for the failure of those two positions after the draft there, but
I
hopefully we
know.
get some things panned out.
I know. I think they will. And, I'm still looking for, regardless of how this quarterback thing plays, and Zach will get back whenever he gets back, whether Pittsburgh or somewhere down the line, whatever it might be. I still expect this team to be competitive, to be fun to watch, play hard, and I'm still going to stick with it. I've been saying it for a long time. I think 7 is the number. I think 8 is the max, and if they get hit with the injury bug, all bets are off.
I know that I tuned into what Joe Beningo's been saying on his show, and he's expecting a winning season, and I couldn't agree more with him. I think we deserve a winning season, and hopefully we get that this year. I would love to see late games that are meaningful, and even a wild card push if things come to it. I would love to see it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either. But I do believe, after Thanksgiving, we should still be I mean, even though it may be far fetched, we should still be mathematically involved. I don't think we'll get there, but there's no reason why we can't be like 5-7 ish, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and haven't been eliminated yet, and going into the first week of December. That would be good. I mean, I know, I know with Joe's at, but this team, they're just. I don't know if the head coach has it in him to win 19 games right now. I can't, and it's not a knock on him. I just,
No.
I don't have enough evidence yet.
No, and we don't know what kind of head coach he was. He was rookie last year, and we saw him go through his rookie mistakes here. Who knows if he's going to grow into that coach where everyone believes in the beast. So I don't know. All we know is, and that we can hope for, is that this isn't Gaze's sophomore year, because if it is, because now we're going to have to go. I wonder if do you think if we have another terrible year, do you think Saleh's gone 2 years and that's it?
Well, that's a great question. Like it's a disaster year, basically, right? I think Woody would have no problem of pulling the trigger. I shouldn't really say that, but really, making a move. But I think he would hesitate because I think Joe Douglas would have to go.
Yeah.
Because you can't let Joe Douglas hire another head coach.
No. It would be, what is it now, 2 head coaches now under Joe Douglas? And then if we were to hire another one, 3.
Gase was hired before Douglas.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this would be another one then.
But it would align him with his third head coach.
Yeah.
You can't have that. And I think he's done a really good job this offseason. It probably wouldn't be fair, but they did that once before. They got rid of what's his name?
Rex Ryan.
It was the opposite way around. They got rid of Tannenbaum. They kept Rex.
Tannenbaum,
They married him with Idzig, and then that didn't work out. So I think if one goes, they both got to go.
Yeah. It's going to be cleaning house. And then I know we said it before once in a couple episodes ago. Once you get rid of the coach and then you get rid of the general manager, there goes the quarterback. They'll be looking for another one probably. And I hope that's not the case.
No, we can't talk negatively like this.
No.
I'm optimistic. I think it's like I said. I think it's going to be a fun year. I think they're going to play well. I think they'll be in games. They'll probably lose some close games. They'll get blown out here or there, but every team does. But I think there's a much improved roster. I'll go as far as this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
If they had a legitimate quarterback, I'm talking like a top 10 to 15 quarterback.
Yeah. Like a Patrick Mahomes, or even, I'm trying to think.
No, I'm not even going that way.
Yeah.
I'm just, anywhere. I don't know who am I going to throw in? Who's like the 8th to 10th ranked quarterback in the league? Who would you put it?
Lamar Jackson, maybe.
Yeah, a guy like Jackson. A guy like Herbert. Herbert's a top 5.
Yeah, I just thought about Herbert. Yeah.
That second tier of quarterbacks, whoever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a veteran second tier quarterback with this roster, I would expect a legitimate playoff push. I
agree. Yeah, and that quarterback may come next year if Wilson really doesn't pan out. I hope not.
Zach Wilson.
I hope it is.
Zach Wilson.
I hope.
So do I. I mean, I'm rooting for the kid. I mean, I have 2 unanswered questions. Is Zach Wilson going to be the real deal, and is Saleh and his coaching staff going to be the real deal? And your guess is as good as mine. We're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, and hopefully it's for the best. And I'm sure we're going to have some competitive games, and it's going to be better than last year. It should be, and we'll just go from there. But Ira, is there anything else you want to discuss here about the Jets before we wrap up?
Well, we're going to leave it this way. I'm going to go as far as to say we will not be talking about the draft until after the season.
I hope so. It'll be a change for once because I know usually we're on to the mock drafts after week one.
No, yeah, no, I can't. I can't deal with it. I don't know. I don't want to know about mock drafts. I don't want to know about what picks. I don't want to know. No. This is all about come the first week of December. If things break right, and if these teams lose, and if we happen to upset this team, we're still involved.
Yeah,
That's what I want to focus on.
I agree, and I hope it's changed, and I'm sure it will be, and we'll get some better play this year, and we'll hopefully be talking about the draft afterwards. And I could
Yes,
see it.
I want to talk about the draft after New Year's.
I agree. Yep, and let's hope that it happens here. Ira, anything else?
That sounds good. I appreciate you having me, and enjoy the win on Sunday.
You too, and then I'm looking forward to it. Go Jets.
Go Jets. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.